Hey guys, Mike Chen here in Orlando. Before getting to the video, which I think is the last video from the Singapore series, this was one of my favorite food days in Singapore, where I was able to try out a Chinese Michelin-star restaurant and go to one of my favorite night markets in Singapore, Satay Street. But before getting into that, right now I'm at the Move Restaurant and Grill, about to try what was voted as the best burger in Orlando. And before that gets here, a big thank you and shout out to the sponsor of this video, Surfshark VPN. I've been talking about and recommending Surfshark VPN for a number of years now. It's still something I utilize every single day, whether I'm in the US or abroad. And VPN is something I highly recommend that everybody uses. We're all traveling more now, especially during the holiday season, and we're all gonna be using Wi-Fi hotspots at random cafes, airports, train stations, and most of the time, these are not secure. They even tell you they're not secure. And these are really good places for people to gain access to your private information. I mean, it could range from data aggregators, collecting your information to sell to marketing companies, or they could gain access to your IP and have access to your live location, which happened to someone I know. This is all scary stuff. So what a VPN is, it's a virtual private network. And what Surfshark VPN does is that it encrypts and secures your private information before it goes over the internet. So people who you don't want having access to your private info, they're not gonna have access to it. Surfshark also has something called Surfshark Alerts. So when someone's trying to gain access to something like your email, you're gonna get notified right away. Also on the entertainment, if you wanna see what other countries' Netflix catalog looks like, you can actually use Surfshark VPN to change your location to another country where you can get access to their streaming site with new shows and movies that's not found in the US, or if you're abroad, and you want to have access to your US streaming services, which I had to do a lot when I was traveling. You can use Surfshark VPN to change your location back to the US, so you can have access to that. Or even basic websites. Surprisingly, a lot of major websites, they don't even work when you're abroad. Like when I'm trying to pay my mortgage, I have to use Surfshark VPN for that. So if you want to give it a try risk-free for 30 days, go to my link down below, use my promo code MikeyChan. You'll get 83% off your order plus 3 additional months for free. And like I said, try it out for 30 days. If you don't like it for whatever reason, get your money back. In the first appetizer dish, tuna poke tacos. Pre-burger tacos. This is so good. Ginger, scallion, sesame, some kind of avocado cream in here as well. The poke is so fresh and tender. There's a creamy element, a citrusy element. This is really good. This looks like an amazing burger. I think it's blue cheese on top. There's some tomatoes sitting on a bed of lettuce and toasted buns, caramelized onions, pickles, and a 7-ounce juicy waterfall of a patty. That is a ridiculous burger. It couldn't be cooked any more perfectly than this. Medium well, beautifully pink in the middle, super charred on the sides, a thick patty. I love those. Gets you the nicest burst of juice. Also, blue cheese on burger, blue cheese on steak. I love it all. That beautiful, funky flavor mixed in with this crazy, juicy, beefy patty. It's just surreal. Get a nice sweet burst of juice from the tomatoes. Fries are perfect as well. I can see why this was voted the best burger in Orlando. It's truly a phenomenal burger, phenomenal fries as well. You gotta be kidding me with this. This is so good. Also, they recommended this pork chop. Look at this thing. Pineapple on top. Look at the thickness of this pork chop. A couple pieces of funche, which is made with cornmeal. This is crazy good. It tastes like a couple of fried grits cake. The outside is perfectly crispy, inside just soft, melty grits. That's what it tastes like. And it's beautiful. And it's just fantastic. Sitting inside this pineapple juice. Wow, this restaurant is really, really good. They also have $7.99 weekday lunch specials, which look really, really good as well. That's so juicy. Beautifully charred with that nice sweetness from the pineapple. It's such a good pork chop. This whole plate is just a wonder for your taste buds. Anyway, on my way down to Miami to try out this all-you-can-eat seafood buffet that just reopened. And it's an all-you-can-eat steak brunch. Can't wait to show you guys that video. In the meantime, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hey guys, Mike Chen here in Singapore, starting today's food out on Orchard Road. So I was at this restaurant called PUTIEN. This is a 1 Michelin-star Chinese restaurant. And since the last time, I wanted to come back and try more stuff on the menu. So today starting out with a Chinese Michelin-star restaurant. And I think I saw some really cool Japanese restaurants. And then tonight I'm gonna take you guys to one of my favorite places to go in Singapore, Satay Street. First of all, this restaurant is immaculate. It's so beautiful, the layout's nice, the lighting is great. Fair warning, as soon as you sit down, they're gonna bring little dishes over that looks like it's free for the table. It's not. So I usually turn that down. Keep their hot sauce. This is amazing. Look at their menu. Their menu is like a photo album, and it is beautiful. They go into details about their dishes. Last time I had their yellow croaker, which is their specialty, and that dish is always 50% off for some reason. I would highly recommend getting that. I also got this dish. This is $5.80, a little bowl of wontons, where this wonton skin is made out of pork meat. I want to try this today. This is their red mushroom lor mee. Oh my gosh, look at this. Mud skipper. That's a terrifying looking fish. This pig trotter looks amazing. Their 4 special appetizers is 1, this braised pork intestines. There's seaweed and chilled jello worms. All right, I think I figured out what I want. Interesting fact about the Michelin guy, when they first started, there wasn't a lot of cars in the country. So they were giving out guides to really good restaurants and hotels, trying to entice people to buy a car so they can drive to these places. And now we all trust this cousin of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for our food choices. First dish is an appetizer. This is an intestines dish. And they say they scrub the intestines for over 8 hours to get rid of all that funk that's in here. And they kind of just wrap it like a fruit roll-up. Wow, that's really, really good. There is absolutely no funkiness to this. At the same time, it has a really nice organy flavor, and it's snappy. Texture is fantastic. Flavor is really good too. So Putien is Fujian food, and Fujian food is known for natural flavors, kind of on the lighter side. The next dish is a little red, mainly because of this red mushroom. So this is another dish that's very indigenous to Fujian. There's prawns in here, clams, cabbage, scallops, and noodles. So thick, very gravy-esque noodles. And again, the red mushroom is the key ingredient here. Oh, the red mushroom is super snappy. The texture is almost like biting into a cartilage. Very snappy, very earthy. Yeah, it's like biting into a piece of meat. This noodle is so good. The thick, rich gravy is very seafoody. All the different types of seafood and also pork. Wow, that pork definitely adds a lot of depth to this broth. I feel like a little chilies in here, a little vinegar would be even better. But this thing, it's got the sweetness from the prawns and the scallops, a little brininess in the broth from the clams. It's got an earthy flavor from the mushrooms, and of course some of that nice fatty richness from the pork. Yeah, this definitely with some vinegar will be incredible. Next dish just came out. I think it's fried noodles on the background. It's barbecue giant prawns. Look at that. I think this thing is fried and then stir-fried in a pan. That looks absolutely glorious. Take off the prawn head. Oh, that flavor is so interesting. Besides that wonderful umami-ness, you taste a little bit of the fermented flavor. Wow, this is good. They say these prawns, you can just eat the skin with it because they fry so well, and that is absolutely true. What they didn't mention was the inside of the prawns tastes like a piece of lobster. It's so succulent and sweet, with a good amount of wine flavor here as well. I think that maybe they put in some red fermented tofu for the red coloring. Skin and tail's crispy. You definitely could just pop that whole thing in your mouth. That flavor is so unique. Wow, that thing is just extraordinarily sweet. I also recommend getting the Da Hong Pao, the tea that they brew for you fresh. It's unlimited. Definitely take advantage of that. And this, of course, is their signature dish. I'm always going to recommend this. This is like their best-selling dish. They say they've sold over 1 million of this fish. Every time I come here, it's always 50% off. The only thing you gotta kind of be careful about is these have not been deboned, so you gotta watch out for the tiny bones that this fish is known for. But Huanghua Yu is a very famous fish in traditional Chinese cooking. A lot of great medicinal qualities. The flesh is very tender, but again, it's known for their tiny little bones. My flesh is so tender. Flavor is amazing, and all this for 8 Singapore dollars. So this dish for about $5 is unheard of. The broth, very light, very xian. You can taste the ginger, the scallions. And those are used to kind of kill the fishiness, but it definitely doesn't cover up how delicious this fish is. This fish soup is just exquisite. Get some of the noodle, add in some chilies. Love it. Seafood noodles, one of my favorite dishes today. Simple, you get so seafoody and elegant, all for about 14 Singapore dollars. You can't beat that deal. Oh, it's so good. I forgot I got another noodle dish. This is something they recommended to get. This is changfen and mifen. So it's rice noodles with intestines with some seafood in here. And you mix in some black vinegar. Yeah, you definitely need to be liberal with the black vinegar. And I recommend the chili sauce as well. Oh, it's really good too. The rice noodle is stewed till it's super, super soft. It's a very shrimpy, seafoody broth. I see little bits and bigger bits of shrimp in here, some tofu, some veggies for additional crunch. The soup is very, very thick. I like this, but maybe I probably shouldn't have got 2 noodle dishes at once. I think the final dish has arrived. In preparation, gotta put on some gloves. Thank you. So this is a salt and pepper pork knuckle. It's also on their highly recommended list. So on top, there's some scallions, chilies, and the skin is perfectly crunchy. Look at this. I'm gonna break this apart. And the bone comes right off. Look at that. Pork knuckle, all that nice gelatinous collagen and fat inside on the outside. Perfectly crispy skin. A layer of salt, a layer of pepper. Oh, if you're a fan of fat, like a lot of fat, a lot of collagen, a lot of that nice gelatinous-y, sticky texture in your mouth, you're gonna be a fan of this. Skin is so crispy. Once you take a bite, that skin right away starts to dissolve. And mix it with all that great fatty texture. That will actually go really well with these noodles. One extreme fattiness, chase it with something seafoody and acidic. Or just dunk it directly into the chili sauce. That's pretty darn fantastic because their chili sauce is amazing. This place is definitely one of the best Chinese restaurants I've ever been to. Food is 10 out of 10, service is 20 out of 10. And being a one Michelin-star restaurant, the prices are really good for the dishes here. Like a noodle dish, only about 14 Singapore dollars. Pig trotter was about 5 Singapore dollars each. And this place filled up really quick. We got in right after it opened. Now it's a full house. This is definitely one of the best Chinese restaurants I've been to. You can taste the quality, the ingredients are amazing. Of course, when it comes to Chinese cuisine, I like Sichuan food the most, but I've been eating Fujian food as well for all the years I was a wedding videographer. Every single time before a shoot, because I was working for a Fujian wedding studio, so every single time before a shoot, I would have Fujian food at the banquet as well. So it is a cuisine I'm familiar with, but I never had it like this before. This is a place I will highly recommend anybody coming to Singapore, try this place out. Also, the chili sauce I love. They give me a bottle for their 22nd anniversary. Lunch number 2 is at a Japanese restaurant called Quay. It's a dish here that I haven't seen since the last time I was in Japan. Thank you. So this place serves a thinly sized rare Wagyu beef rice bowl with uni and ikura on top. Again, last time I had something like this was in Tokyo, Japan. Thinly slices of Wagyu. You can see the marbling in the thin slices of beef right here. It's definitely not a lot of meat, very thin slices, but this looks delicious. Little dipping sauce right here. Put some uni on top, grab some ikura. Don't forget, add a little wasabi to that bite as well. This is so good. The rice itself is delicious. The Wagyu melts in your mouth. Little popping ikura for some additional blast of umami. And the uni just provides that additional silky, briny texture that makes this the perfect surf and turf rice bowl. The set comes with some cucumbers, miso soup, with how thin that is. I mean, on one hand, it sucks that it's thin because you want more Wagyu as much as possible. On the other hand, the thin slices of meat, unbelievably tender. This is a place that has really good yield bowl as well, but this thing definitely hits the spot for me. I think after this, I'm going home for a little bit. And like I mentioned tonight, one of my favorite food streets in Singapore, a street that only serves satay barbecue. dinner is gonna be, wow, this is a beautiful hawker center in the middle of the financial district, looks like. Right there, there's a clock tower on top. This is Lau Pa Sat hawker center. And I think it's, well, at least from the prices, is the most expensive hawker center I've been to so far. But this is where the night scene really explodes and the satay stalls rule the night. Right now it's about 7 p.m. Satay stalls are just opening and they're setting everything up. You could smell the meat and the smoke from a block away. So this is the whole thing. This is the satay roll right here. So the satay, there's no name. It's just 1 through 19. And apparently the best one are stalls 7 and 8 right here. And of course they have the longest lines. So they give you the menu and tell me to order first, then get in line. Oh, nice. Showy chestnut ate here.
Yes.
200 sticks in 20 minutes, huh?
Really hungry. Number 9, sir.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
meal, sir.
Thank you, I will. Thank
Enjoy
you.
your meal, buddy.
Thank you. To say that this street is the most aromatic, mouth-water-inducing street in Singapore would not be a stretch. I mean, just tons of satay barbecue stalls. You smelling the sweet peanutty flavor of the charcoal, the roasted meats from blocks away. And usually a set will include prawns, chicken, beef, of course the satay sauce. This stuff is fresh off the fire. I mean, just beautiful. Chicken, dunk it in the satay sauce. Sweet, smoky, very peanutty, spicy, tender, juicy, charred, delicious morsels of chicken. And if you want to just clear your palates a little bit, between the satay skewers, munch on a cucumber, and then dunk it into that delicious satay sauce and start all over again. Also that deliciously tender texture of the chicken is just offset by the crunchy peanuts inside the sauce. The satay sauce is not overly sweet. You still get so much of that great smoky flavor from the chicken. This is my favorite, satay beef. Look at that nice char on the outside. The sugar caramelizes a little bit, and this thing, it just looks absolutely perfect. Beef, just as tender as the chicken, especially when you bite into the ones with a good chunk of fat. I love how as you chew, more and more flavor releases from the skewers. When you first take a bite, it's not as spicy. It's more sweet, more peanutty. Then as you chew, the spices starts to shine. The smokiness of the meat comes out more. This is one of the must-have food items here in Singapore. And of course, the prawns, what I love about this, they take the shell off for you. So the head comes off so easily. Of course, all that great flavor is right up in there. And then on the other end, look at that glistening body of meat right there. Suck on the head. Oh, that's juicy. All that great umami flavor enhanced by the spices, the spiciness that's already on these prawns. And of course, that gorgeous smoky flavor. I don't even want to dip this in the sauce. I love the natural sweetness of the prawn. I think it's absolutely perfect the way it is right now. And this is my favorite skewer. As much as I love the beef, I love the chicken, prawn is amazing. There's so much flavor. The season, the prawn with different spices than the other skewers. I taste some cumin, some chilies. This is absolute magic. When you come here, you should never get the smallest set because after one bite, you're gonna want some more. Especially a prawn, get a ton of these. So satay 7 and 8 is definitely the most popular satay stall here. The line is stretching, look at this, all the way to over there. I wanted to try some other stalls as well. So Joey Chestnut ate here, so I'm gonna try the one that Joey Chestnut ate at.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this is really interesting. So a couple different items here that this stall offers. First of all, they give you packs of rice. cucumbers, and I got mutton this time instead of beef. Satay sauce, and they give you this sauce. Looks like a chili sauce. I think it's for the prawns. Oh, the prawn looks so good. Oh, they're cold sticky rice packs. It's a rice cake, actually. Prawn looks just as enticing. Perfectly charred, beautiful looking prawns. The satay skewers, you can see all the different herbs and spices on the satay skewers, and these are very nicely charred. The chicken on one side and mutton on the other. Oh, that's freaking amazing. That is freaking amazing. So tender, so beautifully charred. You get that nice little crunch from the char on the outside, the caramelization that's on the outside. There's some different herbs in here. I think maybe a little cumin they used. It's not as spicy as the last place, but that is one tender skewer of chicken. And I love that little bitterness from the char on the outside. Oh, wow. Ooh, this is the mutton. There's definitely cumin out here. Beautifully charred as well, tender, smoky. I still like the chicken better. Well, that is a great skewer. Prawn is just the one I always look forward to. And they got this extra dipping sauce here for just the prawn. Wow. Oh, that sauce is nice. This thing is really spicy. There's definitely a ton of chilies in here. I think also maybe a little bit of sweet soy sauce. Wow, my mouth is on fire from this. You definitely need to dip the prawns in that sauce. The prawn is always so good. It's very sweet. That sauce makes it taste so good. I think when it comes to just the chicken skewers, I like 6 more. Prawn, definitely 7 and 8. Stall 7 and 8 prawns are just pure addiction. But really, both places off the hook. Everything I've had so far today is so amazingly delicious. Everything is perfectly cooked. The seasoning, the flavoring, like you don't want to stop eating it. You really don't. I might just go for one more after this. All right, that's it. The satay itch is scratched. This night market has such a beautiful vibe. It has such a beautiful aroma. Of course, amazing food. And that wraps up another awesome food day here in Singapore. As always, all places I went to listed down below for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again. See you later.